Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Season 4 of the Youth Academy RTG. We've new kits, we've new ground, actually, and of course, spoilers incoming, as of our league title win in the season finale yesterday, a new league as well. We've also some new players via the Youth Academy that have been brought up to the first team, some players that have left as their contracts expired and they weren't that good. We've got new scouts. It's all systems go in the championship. We've got new fan objectives. Jesus Christ. There's a lot to cover. So I'm going to dive in and get going right away. Let me start by saying thank you to Papa Bear and to MJ for joining the Patreon. Thank you very much both. Appreciate that very much indeed. We'll go league objectives. I'll show you what the squad looks like at the minute briefly. We'll show you the kits as well. And then it's a case of working our way through this opening transfer window, hoping that no one bids for our better players, expecting that they will, and dealing with what comes up as a result. Huddersfield is our first game. We'll also have Cardiff and Blackburn today as well. And Bristol City in the cup we will sim. Oh God, there's a lot on the way today. So please do drop the video a like. I'd very much appreciate it if we could show some fantastic support for episode 1 of season 4 and push the content to new people. That would be brilliant. If you are one of those new people, then please do hit that subscribe button with the notification bell ticked and you won't miss any further episodes of this save. So, one thing at a time. Objectives I actually haven't looked at yet to see what the board want from us this year. They've added a new youth academy objective. We've ticked the first one already. That is to assign 2 players to defensive positions. That will be easily doable. The long-term one, I don't think we're going to get 30% games played from one of our youngsters, but there are a couple of youngsters that we called up from last year that might actually have a chance. Brand exposure-wise, 7 wins in the league. Now, yes, we're in a new division, but I'd like to think we can get more than 7 wins in the championship this year. They would like me to sign 1 player born in South America. Now, at present, I'm not planning on doing that. We are open to buying players, of course, but via our youth scouts, we're now expanding our radius from just domestically United Kingdom. Now we're in the championship to mainland Europe as well. And then when we get to the Premier League, we'll go full global. So maybe if we buy someone, they might well be from South America. Financially, sell 2 players and sign 3 important players to replace them. Unsure. I certainly won't be finishing the season without any unspent transfer budget. The board only want mid-table for us in the championship this season, which shows that they're not too gung-ho about our first year here. We're fully expecting this to be probably the most difficult season we've had since season 1. And it may well get even more difficult still if we lose some of our higher rated players, which, like we say, we expect to do. Now, new fan objectives for this new season. Matt would like me to score a goal with a player in every position in the team. That's self-explanatory. Goalkeeper, right back, left back, centre back, etc, etc, etc. So that's one that is completely left field, and we'll see if we can actually pull that off. HT Wallace would like us to score with the same player 5 games in a row. Now, when we get to the Premier League, we may well look to have something similar and maybe look to try and beat Jamie Vardy's 12-game streak. But championship level, 5 is a good place to start. Maldini FC said keep 10 clean sheets in away games in all competitions. Now, being at a much higher level, that's going to be more difficult than it was last year. Wayne would like us to finish higher than any of the promoted teams that came up with us last year. That's Derby and Barnsley. Derby still our local rivalry this season. Brandon, or Gingake, apologies about the pronunciation, would like me to at least play 1 game this season with 11 nationalities in the starting lineup. Now, at present, we have 7. So there's room for growth there. And then Corey, who on Twitch is Don't Like You 45, we would like to scout 5 players valued at £1.5 million plus via the youth system. That is the plan. That's what we're going to try and do. They are our fan objectives for this season. So at this stage, as of right now, it's just a case of advancing a little bit further and seeing what happens. We have upgraded our youth staff. So Gabriel Oliver was our chief scout last year. He is now just a regular scout because we've gone for... Actually, I need to get 5-star experience and 5-star judgment, not 5-star experience. So actually, I need to sort that out. I need to do that the other way around. So we've got 3 at present 4-star judgment scouts, and what I do need to do is refresh CMETA to get a 5-star judgment scout to be our chief scout. Something to work on, certainly. An oversight on my part. Apologies. We'll get that sorted sooner rather than later. So, you saw where they're scouting and what they're looking for. Austrian attackers, physically strong Englishmen, technically gifted Dutch players. That's currently what we're looking for. As we progress through, players will come, players will probably almost certainly leave, and we hope to maintain the core of the squad. You can see the home kit there on the right-hand side. I like it very much, and I'll show you the other kits when we get there. Let's not waste any more time. Let's get going. Bologna have shown interest in Isaac Morris. Now, he's been our scout future star since day dot. However, I need to see if Bologna are Serie A. If they are top flight in Italy, Isaac Morris will go. They are top flight in Italy. Isaac Morris is seemingly, provided we can agree a fee, on his way. Now, this is where the challenge really comes in, because for the first time, we might find ourselves losing a number of players. Now, those of you in the comment section that can sway one way or the other way, I absolutely understand that some of the transfer decisions I make will be controversial and won't be agreed with by a number of you. Please take everything with a pinch of salt and understand that I'm trying to build a save in the way that I feel I would like to. And by doing so, I'm not going to be able to keep everybody happy. I absolutely understand that, which is why I tend to go in my own direction whilst being influenced by the comment section. Isaac Morris, we expected to lose him much earlier than this. We've managed to keep him for 3 whole years, but Isaac Morris is on his way, seemingly, to Italy. And like I say, this is what adds the extra layer of difficulty that we previously haven't really encountered. We haven't yet had our best players poached and had to bring through that second generation of youth players to kind of rebuild the squad from a previous overachieving or a previous successful set of players. This could be the start of that. And we do have some young wingers that have the potential to be that next second generation to come through. So even though it will suck to see Morris go, there is always going to be a positive side to losing one of our higher rated players in that it gives that next generation a chance. And we are going to be that sort of club. That was always the plan, and we're just fortunate that we've been able to keep players like that as long as we have. So I'm fully open to letting Isaac Morris go. Absolutely, I'll try and get as much money for him as I possibly can. And if they don't want to agree anything over 33 or 4, then I will hold my nerve. But it looks like Isaac Morris is on his way to Italy. Again, I get it. Some of the transfers I either do or don't do will rub some of you the wrong way. I ask that you just understand that I can't do everything to keep everybody happy and try and enjoy the series for what it is and for the entertainment value that there is in everything else that I do if there's 1 or 2 things that you disagree with. I can't keep everybody happy all of the time. That's content creation and life on the internet. But speaking of the next generation youngsters that could come through, Morris on his way out, but Lawrence looks very good indeed already to come in. Now, obviously, he's not going to be Isaac Morris levels, but his passing is nearly as good. His physical is not quite there yet, but his pace is still better than the majority of the rest of my team, whilst Morris was the far beyond everybody else. Lawrence does have great potential, so I'm actually not that bothered about losing Morris. And Morris, despite being one of my higher rated players, has never been one to really stand out with the goal contributions and overall improvement that we've seen in other players. So I'm actually not that bothered by losing Isaac Morris. I'm just perhaps fortunate that we've been able to keep him as long as we have. Monthly scout reports are back. That's fantastic news. But what will surely, I'm sure, break some hearts is that we are now seeing Isaac Morris leave to head to Italy. He's off to Bologna. Thank you for your service, sir. We shall try and achieve the next level of this club's progression without you. Arrivederci. This is just a bit of a lol, really. Carlisle United would like to buy Kai Connick and have offered me Amari Patrick going the other way. Ha! Get out of it! Not a chance. Reject. Now then, our first 2 scout reports with our better scouts looking for attackers in Austria. And in a minute, these look more like defenders than anything else. 575 could be something. The rest, not quite so good at the moment. And then we were also looking for technically gifted Dutchmen. Now, we're at the stage now where we're looking purely for the creme de la creme, because that's how we're going to be able to bring players through our youth system into the first team picture. Now, Jakob Kaiser is a left winger that, with 76 ball control, it's pretty decent, but crossing is not great. Neither is his short passing. He's more of a mid than a winger, I think, but still maybe more of a central player than an out wide man with a lack of pace. So we'll wait and see on that front, but not a bad start for out in Europe, but not a great start either. So quickly then, whilst we're here on the day of the first friendly, I'll show you guys what my kits are this year. So the home kit is as you see it there, which I think is very nice. The first year as well, we've had Puma kits also. Then the away kit is in red like that. I like the black stripe with the white Puma logo on the socks there. That's probably my favourite part of that particular kit. And then the third alternate kit is the diamonds in yellow. I think they're 3 nice kits. I think last year's home kit is still probably my favourite of the saves so far, but that home kit is still pretty nice, and it may well be my second favourite of the... I didn't want to do that. I wanted to jump to result of the things of the saves so far. Unfortunately, we lose 1-0 to Sparta Rotterdam. Not to worry. Let's see what else is going to happen in the window. It seems Italian clubs are the destination for our higher rated players at present. They've only bid 16 million. I would like 20 plus for him. Boyle has been superb for us since he came into the starting picture. But certainly, again, a top flight side elsewhere, I cannot deny him a move like that. And they'll accept 23 right off the bat. So it looks like Patrick Boyle is on his way out, but that in turn would offer opportunities to the up-and-coming Macmillan, who equally has fantastic potential and could certainly contribute. And with Knox having a 5-star weak foot, he'll go to left back. Boyle looks like he's on his way out. I don't at present have another fullback, but I certainly have other players that are down at centre-back that have the pace to be able to deal with life at fullback, and Lavery can play there as well, as can Ben Jack. This is going to be the first properly challenging transfer window that leads to us having our first properly challenging attempt to avoid relegation in a new division. And what we thought might also be coming, a bid for Ben Jack. 78 rated and PSV coming in for him. Now that even if I just got promoted to the Premier League, I might consider a bid like that, let alone having just made it to the Championship. Again, I will try and negotiate as big a deal as I possibly can, and I of course will now be looking at players to purchase from other divisions as well. Whilst we're now losing some of our bigger and better players, I might well find myself in a position where I'm going to need to look to buy initially whilst we wait for some players to bleed through. So it looks like Jack's on his way out and Murphy will be called up to the starting lineup. We are getting weaker, but this was expected. And again, arguably, we should have lost Morris, Boyle and Ben Jack 18 months ago. We're fortunate that they stayed as long as they have. Now is their time to move on, it seems. Time to wave bye-bye. For a second time. Arrivederci. For a second time. No, Stanley Lyons. No, Stanley Lyons is going to Swansea. That certainly wasn't Stanley Lyons. That was Patrick Boyle on his way to Lecce for £23 million. 2 first teamers have departed for Italian shores, and it will not be long before Ben Jack heads over towards... Oh, now, actually, Celta Vigo have bid for Ben Jack. Okay, so he might not be Dutch bound. He may be on his way to Español, or España. Should I say? He's not on his way to Spanish, he's on his way to Spain. España or Nederlander? We shall find out in due course. Intriguing! Transfer talks for Ben Jack have broken down with PSV. He couldn't agree personal terms. So if Celta Vigo hadn't just come in for Ben Jack as well, maybe he might be staying. You never know, he might turn down Celta Vigo as well. We shall wait and see. We might have a shock in there. We got close to being able to keep him. He turned PSV down, but only because he wanted to go to Spain. Ben Jack joins Celta de Vigo, and we have another first teamer left us for a sizable chunk of change. Loan bids for still more of our youngsters, which we're happy to agree and let them go. The squad is taking shape, but the shape is a smaller shape than it was. That said, I am currently scouting a number of other players that I might potentially loan in from other clubs. So, whilst outgoings are prevalent at the minute, there are incomings potentially on the way very soon. Up next, though, is our first game of the season against Huddersfield Town at home. Welcome to the new Patreon Park. Season 1, we had the smallest ground on the game. When we got promoted to League 1, we added a stand to that ground. We have now moved stadiums to a new site. So this is not an improvement on the previous ground. This is a new ground for us here at the beginning of our championship life. Still Patreon Park, of course, but here against Huddersfield we'll be playing in our alternates kit because their home and away kits both clashed with my home kit, and I'm obviously not going to play the away kit at home, so we're playing in our alternate, and rather than just waiting for the graphics to come around whilst we start the game, I'll show you their lineup here. Ryan Schofield, Aaron Rowe, Loic Aina, Nakayama and Cricklow, with Headley on the left-hand side, Kamara, Scott High and David Kusumu in the middle, with Samuele Vignato and Felix Plata up top. Again, for me, Lawrence now in on the right-hand side for the departed Isaac Morris, McMillan in for the departed Boyle, swapping wings or swapping sides of the defence with Barry Knox, and as well Murphy in at centre-back ahead or in place of the now departed Ben Jack. Let's see what the new boys are all about. Can we start the championship with a win? Vignato with a free kick for Huddersfield Town. Underneath this could be Murphy. Rises well and wins his first aerial encounter in our first team. Salinas to Castro, who is the next, or was previously, the next man to look to be replaced in the starting lineup. We shall wait and see what happens with the rest of the squad now as the window develops. But Castro could, if he'd have found the pass to the right man, have been the first man to get an assist for me this season. Samaras draws the save out of Ryan Schofield. He was nearly the first man to score a goal for me this season. Castro on set pieces now, of course, with the departure of Isaac Morris. But Mitch Bakker can't, with our first chance from a set piece this season, score the goal. Well intercepted by Mitch. And then great commitment from Mitch as well. The crowd sound their applause. Of course, higher attendances this season, with the capacity having gone from 4 odd to now 10-ish here at home, as Salinas can't quite force the ball over the line for our first goal of the season. Can Kai get on the end of that header? No, Lawrence will knock this down, and Murphy on debut shoots like a centre-back. But play continues, probably a yellow card for the Huddersfield man sooner rather than later. Kai to Salinas, Salinas from distance Schofield comfortable again. And Connick out to Rodri Lawrence, who will float the ball into the middle brilliantly. Salinas is there with a header, but wide of the target. Another one comes and goes. First half was all AFC cheese. Second half, starting all AFC cheese. Salinas, Connick, it would be very fitting if he's the first man to score a goal for us at this level. But alas, he is not. Another top stop by Schofield. Backer's up. Good header. Mitch Bakker is the man to score the first goal for us this season. Let's go! We lead at home for the first time in our new ground, in our new league. Mitch Bakker the man. We ball down the line to Headley. Platter with options. Oh, one of which is to play in Simpson. Very, very well indeed. And Richardson responds. Their best chance of the game so far, Huddersfield. But our goalkeeper is still keeping his clean sheet. We don't need clean sheets at home games for fan objectives. They are away ones, but would still love clean sheets nonetheless. And also, actually, with regards to one of the fan objectives for scoring a goal with a player in every position, we've already ticked off a centre-back now too. So, despite losing 3 players, Huddersfield are going to be one of the mid-table teams you would imagine at Championship level. So, based off this performance, survival, very, very likely at Championship level, despite now being a slightly lesser ability level side. Castro, no second. Down the line to McMillan. And Castro. Connick. Samaras, just trying to work some space. And Edwards, I probably should square this. I should have squared it. In the end, it ends up with Kai anyway. Kai Connick picks up where he left off last year. League 2 Golden Boot. League 1 Golden Boot. Is that the beginning of a Championship top goal scorer attempt? Only 3 minutes added on. But that might be enough for a third goal. Salinas will lift this to ensure it reaches Kai out of his feet. Kai Connick. Oh. No. Still not as consistent as we might like him to be, Kai Connick, but still a very talented goal scorer. Logan Brown is actually 70 rated now, so significantly higher than 67 rated Kai Connick. But obviously, Kai, with the cult history he has, or cult following he's built here at the club so far, and with his goal scoring record, still holds that first team spot and will do so continually until he stops scoring. But for now, despite having 3 much lower rated players in 3 positions, that is possibly as good a start to life in the Championship as we could have hoped for. At the Cardiff City Stadium then, Angel Fortunio is their goalkeeper. They're playing, frustratingly, a 5 at the back. Keon Ateta up top is going to be their best striker at 72 rated, I believe. Levi Colwell is their best player at 75 or 6 rated. Cardiff City, a really good side at this level. And of course, lovely now to be playing more regularly at real-life grounds as well. The away kit gets its first outing. Into Kai to begin us off here. It was played in down the line. See players in the middle calling for it, but not getting it yet. Kai Samaras off the bar. Oh, and nearly getting there was his teammate. That might fall. It's fallen for Samaras, but I think Salinas used an arm. He did. Well, Samaras came close, and only a fantastic save from Ryan Schofield denied him a goal in the first game. And only the bar has denied him a goal in the second. Here's Waters. He's got the option out wide, and he will find him, and Romeo does not give them a 1-0 lead. This would count, of course, for the fan objective if we get an away clean sheet here, so certainly going to fight hard to try and maintain it. And also, it'd be lovely to try and win the game as well to start the season with 2 straight victories, but Salinas can't find the target. Here's Ruben Colwell. Apologies if I said Levi in the build-up. Certainly not Levi. Levi's the centre-back. Ruben is the cam. Bakker in the way, and still Richardson keeps his clean sheet. He's fighting hard for it, though. Cardiff have cut me open a bit better in the opening first half than Huddersfield did in the last game, that's for sure. But still, we look the more dangerous. And Rodri Lawrence could be in here to maybe get himself an assist or the assist of the assist. Kai! Oh my lord, Mr. Connick. What is that, pal? Other than insert expletive. Never mind, we've still got it. Rodri Lawrence, Macmillan, so far have not looked out of their depth at this level since being brought up to the starting lineup. And penalty Phoenixes. Contreras just clips the heels of Salinas as he turns and he tumbles very, very quickly. Now I could, in this scenario, try and score a goal with my goalkeeper for the fan objective. But with the scenario in the game as it is, pretty sure we're going to try and just score the goal. So that's what we're going to do. And that's what we will do. Salinas off the mark this season as well. Well up, Murphy. Tell you what, Murphy's impressed, isn't he? Salinas looking for Kai. Is he going to make it 2-2? It's going to be hard from here, but yes, he will. In front of the travelling fans, we'll go over to see them in the corner. Kai Connick is at it again. He might have missed an absolute sitter earlier, but this one he tucks home. And they will not score a goal. So it will be a clean sheet for us. We'll be very, very pleased to keep that and add that tick to our, to our fan objectives. 1 away clean sheet in all competitions this season at the first attempt as well. Cardiff City fans clearly not happy having lost at home to a recently promoted side, but that is 2-2 for us at this level, although as you can tell from the stats, certainly wasn't straightforward and could easily have been a draw, but Richardson made a couple of good saves and we keep a clean sheet. And up next is a sim against Bristol City. Quick sim against Bristol City in the Carabao Cup. Notice that we're rotating the 11 slightly. The majority of players there don't ordinarily start, but unfortunately they aren't good enough to get themselves through to the next round. But that was a relatively difficult draw at the beginning of the Carabao Cup for us, unfortunately. Some scout reports, however, have come back on potential new players to buy. So let me have a look at these. Got some young centre-backs that I'm looking at. I would like to loan a centre-back in for squad depth. Arthur and Russell, I'm not able to loan. Scott, I am potentially able to loan from Rangers, which is fantastic news. We hopefully will be able to bring him in then. That's a relief, actually, because I was fearful that we might not be able to agree a loan deal for any young players. But I'd like to try and lean towards loans more so than bought players at this stage, to still try and put the emphasis on our own youth setup so that my youth players come through, we loan them out and let them grow whilst we loan in talent of our own that doesn't necessarily need first team football to grow, because that's not a priority for us. The bigger priority is having the depth in our squad whilst our young players get first team football elsewhere. Now, when it comes to left back, I am sorely tempted, however, to buy someone. Helder Ferreira is 17, 5'8", Portuguese left back at Rapid Vienna, and good in possession, 74 dribbling, 76 stand tackle, 70 defensive awareness. I think I'm probably going to try and... That's one area where I'm going to look to buy someone, because I have no depth whatsoever at fullback at the moment, whereas I do have some depth, in fact decent depth at centre-back, especially with that loanee in if we can. So I think despite the fact that Macmillan has come in and played well, I still would very much like to get Helder Ferreira in and have this deal done. Once crucial, absolutely can have it. Of course, the plan is, throughout the save, never to sign someone. You're definitely going to want more than £550 a week, pal. The plan is to not sign anyone that is higher rated than my highest rated player. And that, at the minute, is 73 rated Richardson in goal. And I believe 73 rated as well at centre-back. Sorry, centre-mid, Samaras. So those two deals with the potential loan and now the signing there I think going to give us the squad depth we're looking for at fullback. I might try and loan someone else in at fullback if I can, but at the minute, like I say, the priority is loaning out my young players so they get a lot of football, and loaning in other teams' young players so they get some football. But buying Ferreira is probably a no-brainer really there in that situation, given the fact that I desperately need depth in that position, and I would rather improve on Macmillan if I can. So I think that's good for us. Ferreira in. I'll give him a dynamic potential. I'll give him a development plan, and we shall head now to the third game of the Championship season at home against Blackburn. Blackburn Rovers are a side in real life that were challenging for promotion this season to the Premier League. Ainsley Pears is their goalkeeper. Lorenzo Luca up top. I think that might be the same Lorenzo Luca we came up against in the Southampton save, being 6'7" or so. Butterworth is obviously decent. Luke Hyam at the back is very good too. 4-2-3-1 for Blackburn today. And yes, you can tell by the size of the man, that is the same Luca that we came up against in the in the Southampton save. He's a big tall boy. Starting for the first time in this one, Ferreira for us. Although because he's right-footed, I am retraining him as a right-back. And Knox, with his 5-star weak foot, will continue to be my starting left-back. You onside there, Salinas? He was. His touch was terrible. Oh, but Ferreira's, ooh, delicious. Love that. What a way to make an introduction to yourself, pal. Playing in the new home kit for the first time here as well. So we will have played in all 3 kits today, which is perfect. He stummied that. Straight to me. That was weird. Castro, Edwards. Now, Kai is on a streak of 2 games scored at Championship level now. For the fan objective, we'd love to make that 3 today. But just purely for our own league form and points tally, we'd love to make it a victory regardless of goal scorer here. I'm not going to go for that. I'm not going to go for that. Whey, Edwards, Salinas, Samaras. No, it's Castro and Rodri Lawrence. Looking back into the middle. Salinas twice and no goal. 2 bites of the cherry and he missed it both times. He's going hungry still. Knocks underneath it. Carter trying his best, but Edwards will come away. Salinas. Don't catch Salinas when he's on his bike. 1-0. We lead again in the Championship. Our squad isn't amazing compared to everyone else in the league. Less further advanced than it was compared to League One last year. Significantly so now that we've lost 3 of our highest rated players. Still we're performing though. Rodri Lawrence. Here comes Ferreira on the overlap. Blackburn defensively not impressing so far. Ferreira with the cross. Oh, I might have exploded had that diving header from Salinas ended up in the back of the net. That was unreal. Such a good attempt. No, not your feet, mate. Like trying to kick it home. Maybe he's saying to Salinas you should have shot with your feet, but it was significantly in the air. And certainly the aerial attempt was the more recommended. Luca, lovely through ball. Butterworth's in. Richardson saves. Blackburn's best opportunity so far, just shy of the hour mark. But Leonard on for Butterworth now. Still no goal for them. Luca's going to win that header, because Luca's always going to win that header. But Richardson makes a very good save. Na Sang Ho will try again from the corner this side. I wonder if they're going to look for Luca again. They haven't. It's Leonard that wins it. And Richardson holds on. A brief flurry of chances for Blackburn. Clean sheet still intact. And Russ to Edwards. Here's the overlapping run of Knox. Knox into Salinas. Kai. His goal-scoring streak continues. Every game at Championship level so far has a conic goal in it. Holly Lee just ran straight into me. Travis has just given it straight to me. And it's more opposing teams' mistakes than it is our overarching ability that is leading to a number of our goals so far this season, I have noticed. So once those mistakes from Championship sides start to fix themselves, if you know what I mean, sides start to perform better again against us, bloody hell, then I expect the run of results to come to a rather abrupt and difficult end. But at the minute, we're going to enjoy picking up the points whilst we can. First aim is survival, and we'll take it one step at a time as we try and press towards the upper reaches of this division. But certainly, survival is the first aim. One stage at a time. Oh, lovely touch and turn by Edwards. And there's the options in the middle to aim for, and it won't quite reach Iconic. Leonard into Galdamez. Blackburn looking for what would be a consolation goal at the moment. No chance of scoring another. That hit Ferreira, but play continues. They hit Ferreira again on the arm, and play continues. Leonard turning, trying to find a teammate. Luca can't score. Still, despite 2 attempts, and that will be a third straight 2-0 win in the Championship. Absolutely not the start to the season I was expecting, especially after losing 3 high-rated players, but we will be delighted with it. But again, it tends to be goals coming, again, really even games, 7 shots apiece. I don't really know what I'm doing right, other than taking advantage of mistakes being made by opposition defences. Not really anything else is happening at the minute. Change for Wyatt to right midfielder, 57 to 58. Woo! Hoping that we get some more growth from these youngsters, hoping that we find some better players as well. We will be looking to make another loan signing or 2 in the next episode, probably in the centre of midfield, other than anything else, because I don't really have much depth at centre mid at all, really, because either A, we don't have centre mids, or B, I've loaned some youngsters of my own out. So we will look perhaps for central midfield players, but delighted with the performances from Murphy and from Lawrence since being drafted into the starting lineup from the youth academy. McMillan was solid too, and Ferreira was exceptional on debut. So I don't really know as I can complain about anything at this stage of the season. QPR and Leicester lead the way, although we are right there on their tails. Don't expect it to last. Enjoy it whilst it does. Thank you very much for watching today. Join me tomorrow for the season finale, for the transfer window finale, and hopefully a couple more youngsters to be drafted too. We shall wait and see. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you tomorrow.